Hey guys, this is Kyle Slayton, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka the Remote Neural Man. It is about start date 2:14 p.m. I just wanted to make a short video kind of following up the video I made last night. I ended up last night, my attackers were hitting me very hard externally, and I think they kind of wanted me to get back in that Faraday bunker. I'm going to take my Faraday bunker down because I'm not 100%, but my hypothesis is I'm shielding some stuff on the top, but I don't have any shielding underneath. And I didn't even think about it. It's mind blowing. So for a while, everything was working out good, and it was working as a shielding tactic. But as we know, or maybe some of you don't know, our attackers can manipulate the dirty electricity in wiring in the floor and wiring in our wall. How they do that, the process, if it's through the smart meter or if they're making magnetic fields off of it, I don't know. It sounds really complicated, but if you're not a targeted individual, that's how crazy this shit gets. Because our attackers, they're on shift work and it's automated systems, weapon systems, 24 hours a day. These attackers are always on them, so they're always thinking of all these like, okay, well, he's shielding in the Faraday bunker. We can't really get in through the top. Well, but he's not shielding on the bottom, so we'll come from underneath. So there's actually things that are like that complicated, and I missed it. I missed it, but basically what was happening for like the last like almost a year is they were just frying me like a baked potato. The magnetic field they were creating from the bottom was just bouncing around the Faraday bunker. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure they were also getting things through, adapting things through to get through the top. It's very confusing. It's also, it gets more confusing when when your brain's being microwaved and your nervous system is being microwaved. But I did want to read some of the comments because Charles had some very insightful comments, and I'm going to try and bite my tongue, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't want to give Chief Handler and Tom Green attention, but they're insulting somebody that's a really nice person, and she's being targeted and said something insane and evil, and so I might show it just to show the pieces of crap that they are, just to show them for what they are. Those two, Chief Handler and Tom Green, are paid agents. They're paid to come on and try and discredit us. They go on all the targeted individual videos. If you have them on your videos, feel proud, because that means you're putting out some good information that needs to be discredited. They are the worst that humanity has to offer. Kind of like the people who, my electronics corps that are microwaving me, they know that we're dying. They know that people are being targeted and experimented on and traumatized and tortured and raped. They know, and they don't care. They're going to still discredit us, and they're going to work with this evil system. That's the pieces of fucking shit that they are. Excuse my language. I'm going to really go after Chief Handler. Chief Handler, I know you want this, but I'm going to do it in a way that you don't want. Like, I'm going to figure out a way to go after you in a way that you don't want. I know you want attention and you want us to be distracted and everything like that. And guys, choose your level of going after these guys, like in the comment sections. Ignore them if that's what's good for you. I know that's kind of what we're supposed to do. It neutralizes any kind of distractions, so we can go for the head of the Hydra. But Chief Handler said something about Jean Marie, who is just a great person, targeted individuals who's trying to go through this, and she always supports my channel and other channels. And I'm gonna go after Chief Handler. Like, Chief Handler, I'm gonna go at you in a way that you don't like, that you don't want. Like, it's not gonna be something where it's like, oh, okay, you're distracting me and blah blah blah, something like that. I'm gonna go after you and I'm gonna take you down off of this. So you're gonna have to create a new name, so that you're gonna and you might be Tom Green also. It might be the same guy. But I promise you, for what you said to her in the comment section, I will go after you and take you off. So you're gonna have to use a different name. I promise you I will. I promise you I will, man. I'm not joking around. I'm not joking. And I don't care. I know we're supposed to ignore some things because it's like it's getting, they want to distract us and get us agitated, and they want to get the tar baby going, where we're punching the tar baby. I'm going to go after this guy though. Tom Green too. I'm going to go after them both in a way where it's not what they want. And if you want to, you can go after them because they're 100% like people who know that this is going on and this is their job to come on and discredit. But I do want to go through some of the good comments from that video. I just saw I was going to make a video. I'm trying to remain positive. I'm really trying to remain positive. I got some stressors going on other than the targeting. I did, because I'm out of the Faraday bunker, I actually had a regular dream last night. And since I was playing Dave Case's CD all night and violin music, sleeping on the leather chair, things were better. Things were better. They were hitting me really hard before I went to bed, I think, to get me to go into that Faraday bunker. I think with the Faraday bunker, if I wanted to, I could maybe put rubber down on the ground to block that magnetic field, or put aluminum on the ground. But for just my psychological well-being and just to maybe clean up my place, I'm going to go ahead and do away with the Faraday bunker. I'm going to use some copper netting, and then, these things, I might get some more of these from Less EMF that go on your head, and also maybe some blankets and stuff that have copper woven into them, and things that block, that I can cover myself with a blanket. I'm going to do some things that are not as unsightly as the Faraday bunker, but I'm not telling you guys what to do as targeted individuals. Aluminum still does work. If you're using it and it's working, I'm not telling you to stop. I'm just kind of telling y'all, what I'm experiencing right now. But for a long time, almost a year, my attackers have been doing something from the bottom. And I don't know exactly how they've been doing. They've been getting some stuff through, even though there is aluminum all the way around. And Charles has a really good comment about that. I wanted to read some of these comments from yesterday's video. Charles Hall has a lot of great information, guys. Go check out his videos. Sometimes, like, he'll say stuff and I'm like, that's really left field, but it's just because I can't understand it. I'm pretty smart, but Charles has like a very gifted scientific mind. It seems like he knows a lot about physics and chemistry and things like that, where those are a little bit harder for me. Especially like frequency ranges, because all this is done like with frequencies and the electromagnetic spectrum. I have a hard time with 2.4 gigahertz, okay, and then ultrasound is this level. I don't understand any of that. It's very hard for my mind to. I can grasp it, but it's hard for me. I'm not really gifted in that area of understanding numbered frequencies and what's hitting us and things like that. But Charles leaves a comment saying, I think they do use near X-rays. So they're probably not using X-rays, but it's an electromagnetic frequency very close to the X-ray, the electromagnetic spectrum that's X-ray. And because they can see, I know that they can see like what's going through our systems, like food and stuff, because they will microwave food inside of my body. I know probably a lot of you guys have the same thing. He says, with Doppler shifts of ultrasound, they used near X-rays for years in TV tubes. Then Lynn Rom says, also see Deliverance Ministry Spiritual Warfare. Yeah, I talked about his channel on the video last night. Sight and The Battle Is Ours. They have help with phones and info. Okay. I think that's the channel that I was talking about last night. So Vago Van says, whenever the intensity starts, detox for a few days, try to flush metals and nanotech from your body. There are shills in the comment section. They tend to be narcissistic. They have the traits of swine, which I totally agree. I have some more choice words for people like Tom Green and Chief Handler. I'm gonna have to get out of an anger zone, and what they come on my channel and blah blah blah, they can say whatever they want to me, and that's fine, and I just laugh. I laugh because they're evil and they think that they're buying themselves a seat at the table, but they're not. They're on bat for this, and they're definitely gonna burn in hell. they're definitely going to burn in hell, because they're evil, evil, soulless creatures who know that we're being hurt, who know that there are targeted individuals out there experiencing this, and they are paid to come on these forums and discredit. They're the only ones. There are no real trolls. The real trolls maybe left some comments a long time ago and then went off and did something else. These people, they've been on my videos for so long, and it's just, I'll show you. But I'm very angry right now. I thought I was going to get on here and laugh, but and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you all the comment that they left, because Gene was trying to, defend me. Which, guys, don't feel like you have to defend me. I'm leaving their comments up so that people can see that, because people are starting to see that this is happening, and I want to leave those comments up. The thing is that they're remaining anonymous, right? Tom Green is not the guy's real name. And then Chief Handler, they're going to use anonymous names so nobody knows who they really are, so that they can say things to people who are dying, who are being tortured, and think that they're getting away with it, and think that they're doing a good job. And they're being paid, and they're being rewarded by our society for knowing that people are dying and yet trying to spin disinformation and discredit. They have a place, a special place, in Satan's butthole. What do you think, Barry? Yep, Satan's butthole, he said. He's going real fast. It's hard. It's like high pitch. Okay, so Vago Van says, whenever the intensity starts, detox for a few days, try to flush metals and nanotech from your body. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, my memory is just really horrible. I'm kind of stressed. I feel better in some ways. Like, I had a real dream last night. It wasn't manipulated. It wasn't dream manipulation. I'm very sure it was a regular dream, and I woke up feeling a little bit more energy, but the external hits are worse. My attackers are changing things up because I'm changing my routine of not going into the Faraday bunker. I think it's better overall, though. It seems like the remote neural manipulation, the pulsing pain in my body, because whatever they were using from from the wiring under the floor, like, this gets so freaking complicated and stupid. But I just remember back, I'll get out of the bathtub sometimes and my legs will start tingling. My legs will start tingling because my attackers are somehow creating this magnetic field with the wiring underneath my floor. And I know a lot of you guys know about it. A lot of you guys don't know about it. I thought, like, people were saying my attackers are attacking me from below, and I didn't believe that for a while. I was like, they must be, targeted individual must be perceiving it wrong or something like that. But they use electronics around us. They can pump electricity through a socket, and I'm not sure if it's all through smart meters or it's just through certain frequencies where they're creating a field with the wiring and doing it like that. But they use, like, these attackers, and especially on targeted individuals, but I guess the people that I talk about who aren't maybe directed, well, no, I mean, they probably use the wiring and electronics of a lot of people who don't consider themselves targeted. They are probably targeted by automated systems or shift workers or things like that. There's so many more people who are targeted that don't know they're targeted than people who have come out, who realize what's going on and have come out. There's way more who don't say anything. They think they're going crazy. They think they're getting old or something like that. They think they're getting old and they're, feeling pain and stuff like that. This is the one that I wanted to show you by Charles Hall, guys, and please go watch his videos. He's when he has an understanding of radar systems that I need to talk more about him. I need to get him on my live stream, which next video I'm going to be doing a live stream probably with Corey. I'm thinking I want to do, Friday and Saturday is the rally in Sacramento, so I kind of want to run support of some kind. I'm trying to figure out the best thing I can do to to help what they're doing in Sacramento that day. But definitely I'm going to be doing like, my next thing's probably going to be a live stream. I'm very mad right now. Like, I don't, and see what I'm doing right here. I don't care, because, like, if they say something to me, that's fine. They say something to me like, oh, blah, blah, like, I'll show you, but I'm very angry because that woman, Jean, is such a great woman. She's being targeted. She's done nothing in her life, and she's an older lady. I don't even know. She might not be an older lady. She could be like 30 years old. I don't know, but she's really nice. And what he's saying to somebody he knows is being attacked. He knows. These people know. These two guys know. So if you want some people, guys, and I'm not saying do violence, but if you want to take your aggression out, like in the comment section, these guys are not just regular trolls. Like 100%, 100%, no question. And y'all know how I am, right? If I don't know something for certain, I'm like, well, it could be this, could be that. Those guys, Chief Handler and Tom Green, are paid to do this. They know that we're being attacked. And they either work for contractors or DHS fusion centers or InfraGard. They work for something involved with this program, one of the compartments of this program, 100%, I am sure. So if you want to know person, now they're gonna remain anonymous because they're cowards. Like all of these people are cowards. We know they're yellow belly cowards without souls. So they're gonna stay anonymous. They'll never give their names out because they know they'd have thousands of targeted individuals, and we would just find a non-violent way to destroy them. And I am. Chief Handler and Tom Green, you have been warned, and you won't be able to do anything about it. But I will make you have to change your names. I may not be able to get you because you're anonymous. I may not be able to, because you're using an anonymous name and you're a coward or whatever. But I'll make you have to change your names. I guarantee that. Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. After today. Promise. Promise is a promise. Okay, so Charles Hall writes, Earth is a gyro power transducer. So when standing on it, and the fact that they have Doppler over us, so they have ground radar and over the horizon radar, but that's only one angle of these integrated weapon systems. Also microwave towers, drones, satellites. They have probably other things at their disposal that well, just like the creating magnetic fields out of dirty electricity in your home and stuff like that, which was cooking me like a baked potato, and I didn't even realize it. I thought I was just being remote neural manipulated really bad, because you're feeling stuff from all these protocols that your attackers are doing, and you're trying to figure out, well, okay, is that a frequency? Is it resonating with my brain and doing that to my chest, or that area of my body, or is it an external hit, or is it like a magnetic field around that spot? Those are things that we've just got to talk about and get more information from the other side, information that's trickling out, and trickle out it is. So he's saying, and the fact they have Doppler over us, it's just like walking on a transducer, an ELF transducer, and seeing the fact that they spray the sky full of aluminum. So well, they can see the plasma fields of energy better and the magnetic lines. So they can see things like on the Earth and use the Earth's magnetic field as a grid with these over-the-horizon radars and things. It gets pretty complicated, but I'm going to be talking to Charles more about this. He's really getting targeted hard, so I don't think he's been able to make a whole bunch of videos lately. I know why he's getting targeted hard, because he's super smart. He says stuff sometimes that it's completely true, but I'm like at the beginning, I'm like, is he being hit hard and he's not making sense? But that's not it at all. I just don't understand it. So because plasma can carry a signal, and there's plenty of it up there. So there's like, the chemtrails and stuff are creating this artificial ionosphere, and it's also creating like a plasma barrier. I don't understand any of that, but that's the kind of like technology and things and different working parts to targeting us, but also doing other things with that grid, with that artificial grid, the ionosphere, and then an artificial ionosphere basically with chemtrails. I'm not sure where plasma fits in, but I've got to learn more about that. We do have to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, stupid. I know that it's not completely necessary for us to go into details and like hypothesize about the details of artificial ionosphere they're creating and over the horizon radar, ground radar, but it is, we can talk about it. Just if you do feel like you're getting overwhelmed, or if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed and I'm like, oh, it's making my head spin with all the could be's and maybes and stuff like that, then you just kind of, you put it down and put it away for a while. But it does help. It helps to get ideas from other targeted individuals and talk about that stuff. You just gotta, I think with this, it's like, God has given us all talents, and we got to get in where we fit in. Charles has different talents. Corey has different talents. Brock has different talents. Next has different talents. Like everybody, Dr. Horton has different talents, and then we've all got to kind of do what we can do, but get a team. Get a team of people where it's like, where you can grow, where you're growing in a positive way. Get around people and talk to people. If it's just on social media for now, it's just on social media for now, but talk to people who make you grow and make you go the way where you feel like you're fighting this in a positive way, where you feel like, where you're getting through it. What do you say to that, Barry? He just gave a thumbs up. Okay, so they can see the plasma fields of energy better in the magnetic lines because plasma can carry a signal, and there is plenty of it up there. I've got to learn more about that, if it's natural plasma, and then they're doing chemtrails, which is strengthening that like the natural plasma near the ionosphere, or what. But I'm pretty sure. But that's, they're creating all these different layers and grids from the ionosphere down and even under the earth and on the ocean floor. So there's even a question in my mind. There's tons of targeted individuals in Oregon, tons of targeted individuals in California, tons of targeted, and there's a lot of targeted individuals inland too, but massive amounts of targeted individuals, California, Oregon, Florida, and New York. Now, why is that? Is that because they have some kind of systems or antenna arrays that are deep underwater? You know how they run lines for the internet on the ocean floor, and then they've got like submarines and stuff like that. I don't know exactly, but it makes me think, and Ed, I can't remember his last name, but he's like a private eye who sells defenses for targeted individuals. Ed something. I can't remember, but he had that theory too. Like, he said that theory, and I'd always wondered why cities near the water have so many targeted individuals, and I think we may be looking at some antenna arrays or something that puts out signals underwater. Now, they don't, like, these frequencies in the electromagnetic spectrum don't travel as well through water, so I do have to look into it, but it's a question for me. So because plasma can carry a signal, and there's plenty of it up there, if they decide to pump an electrical impulse through that plasma from pole to pole, it changes the signal being sent to the ground. Then they can tune into that one signal and see the reflection, cast it to Schlieren imaging or satellite. And that, what I think of with that is I think of over the horizon radar, where there's an antenna array. I'm sure he's talking about something a little bit different, but over the horizon radar, where there's a little an antenna array, hits the ionosphere, goes to the target, then a read from the target goes back, and it's a reflection. It's a reflection signal of what was sent. So that's how they're doing, the bi-directional stream and stuff. They just remember integrated weapon systems. I'll try and because it's very confusing, and we need more concrete information from their side. But integrated weapon systems. Me and Corey were talking about it this morning, and he made a good metaphor. He was like, it's like a battleship that has cannons on it, that has machine guns and stuff, a lot of different ways to attack. Like these integrated systems using electromagnetic radiation like this, it's kind of like that. There are a lot of different tricks they can do, and we're just going to have to make a list and check it twice. We're going to have to come up with our hypothesis, learn more, match up what's right about our hypothesis and what's wrong with our hypothesis. I mean, that's how figuring things out has been done since the word hypothesis, since science has been created, basically. And we've got to do that, you know. Not everybody, if science isn't your thing and you want to focus on cleansing, and you want to focus on supplements, and you want to focus on helping target individuals emotionally or spiritually, and that's where you fit in, that's the talents God gave you, well, that's, you know, but then some people, you know, we need to look into the more technical aspects, do the best we can. Charles is awesome for that. His videos are awesome. So Lynn Rom put, Kyle, are you measuring the frequencies? Maybe where the highest is, get a free EMF detector. They use different frequencies, so get different meters. One for microteslas, microwaves, 1 millimeter, one multimeter for hertz. Yeah, and I have, like, I've showed videos where I've measured it, and then I have, James Lyko gave me a Samsung phone, like, it's not connected to the internet, with a lot of EMF readers, and I just, thank you, James. He gave me one of those magnetic strips too that I used for a while. I hope you and Donna are doing well. I'm praying for you. I know this is so hard. And guys, go to James Lyko's channel too. Show him some love. You know, I'll maybe show some. You know, I'm gonna be doing kind of what you know, what the Badger Report's doing, and trying to promote other targeted individual YouTube channels. And I'll show you guys why on this video. Don't want to make it long, but I guess I'm feeling better mentally today. I'm getting hit harder externally, but it feels like my nervous system and my brain are doing better than when I was sleeping in the Faraday bunker. And it feels like my body isn't as cooked on my shoulders and my head. So last night I was kind of like, I go, oh man, they were using something from the bottom. You know, and I was like, and I've been sitting in there and getting in, like, when I get into the Faraday bunker at night, I feel, it makes me feel inhuman. It makes me feel like an animal, you know, and they like that. My attackers like that. But the woman on the V2K would be like, I can't do this anymore. I can't, and it was like an urgent, I can't do this anymore. And I don't know, you know, a lot of that is just, you know, is chatterbox or whatever, surveillance role playing. But it kind of makes me think that when I was getting in there, it started to become dangerous. And I remember like one night where I had my feet, like I had my feet on this end. Y'all can't see it, but I had my feet on one end and my head on the other end, and my legs started tingling, right? For a long time, they would do this every night, but it was still felt like the Faraday bunker was working. So I've got to think about that. And you know, sometimes it's just like, I think I'm just gonna get rid of the Faraday bunker and start over and do some things that look a little bit better, you know, because I think we gotta go downstream. We gotta get downstream with this stuff. I don't know how long we have, but I do, guys, and this is not, I'm not blowing smoke up y'all's butts. I have a feeling, I just have a strong feeling that things are going to get better for us. That may not mean the program ending, but it may mean your family's understanding and people understanding and doctors giving us more help and finding better ways to defend it, and some court cases and stuff in the media really changing public perception and you know, letting them know that this stuff is going on. I just have a feeling. Like, I've always had that feeling, but I don't know the timing. You know, I don't know the timing. But God has a plan and God has a balance, you know. Forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, I think for me it's going to be like, scrap the Faraday bunker. I may keep some of the aluminum on the side. My mom was actually talking to me about, they went to this restaurant in North Carolina when they went to visit my half-sister. And there was like corrugated steel, but it was like really, really short distances between the, you know, the waves in it. And it really looked cool. It looked really stylish. So she was talking to me about maybe putting that on every wall, you know, in this room. And then, you know, I could maybe put something over it or something like that. Maybe aluminum, but I want to be like at a distance of at least 5 feet away from any aluminum. And then if I do sleep on the ground and get some like copper lined blankets, like I'll probably get some more headgear from Less EMF, and then try and get a really nice copper lined blanket. There's Linkstat too, LINK STADT, and then Velostat. Those are two kinds of materials that you can like weave into a blanket. You can sew them into a blanket and stuff. I think Linkstat is a fabric. It may be a fabric. Velostat's more like a carbon plastic. But there are some things that I'm going to try that will just look better and make me feel more like a human. It's been so long with the Faraday bunker, and I really want to kind of not with all my defenses. Some of my defenses still work very well. The grounding, Dave Case's CD, the EMF headgear, the hats from Less EMF, cleansing and stuff like that, and many other things. I need to do a defense video, but a lot of those have not changed. They've maybe my attackers have adapted to them a little bit, but they haven't been able to be turned against me. And all I have to say is if you are going to do a Faraday cage or a Faraday bunker, like and try and cover all the sides around you in the top, make sure it's all the sides and make sure there's no holes, because for many months it was working very, very well with the external hits and everything. But then through like the tingling in my legs, which I think that my attackers were practicing on my legs, like they were using the wiring under the floor to hurt my legs because they wanted to make sure it was at a level where they wouldn't just cause an aneurysm or something. I think these are my hypotheses. I'm not sure. This stuff gets really weird, but bottom line, if you do anything like a Faraday bunker, you make sure you at least get rubber down on the bottom. Make sure you're dealing with all sides of it, because of how our attackers can use electricity in our homes. Now I could turn off the electricity to this room and probably still use the Faraday bunker, but I think this is maybe, I'm kind of seeing it and feeling it as maybe a sign from God that get rid of the Faraday bunker. I got something else for you. That was okay for the short term. And I'm not telling you guys, if you got something that's working that uses a kind of idea like that, keep using it if it's working for you. I'm just telling y'all what's going on, with the protocols my attackers are doing for me. So I do measuring, but I need to do more measurements, and I need to do them on video. Okay, so Chief Handler saying to see, he responds to everybody. That's a clear sign that this guy is there to disrupt and discredit, because he goes to like all these other target individuals and responds to them. He says you couldn't pass a basic science class. So Chief Handler, like if you're so smart in science, right? Like you're such a scientist, then how do you not know about remote microwaves? Because it's there, it's in the public. Remote microwaves, neuroweapons and everything, it's in the public if you're such a scientist. If you are a great scientist, if you think you know science, you don't know much, because this targeting actually exists, and experimentation on people with neuroweapons and with directed energy weapon systems does exist. So where's your science knowledge? Where's your science knowledge? I don't think you're a scientist at all. I think that you're just hired. You're probably ex-military or some crap, and you don't have a soul. You're just like, oh, well, I'll go with the big system because I'll be able to save myself, right? You think you're gonna save yourself? Let me tell you, buddy, and let me tell everybody on that other side, my attackers included, the people shooting microwaves at me, gang stalkers, whoever knows about targeted individuals being targeted, and yet you still lie, and kill and torture. You better trust me when I say this, and it ain't some kind of one-upsmanship. I ain't trying to one-up. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to save the little kids that are being microwaved. All the little children who they're experimenting on, plus all of us that are old enough to actually stand up and speak out about this. I'm not some little coward like you, Chief Handler. I called you a coward. And if you were ever in the military or anything like that, or you think you're some kind of authority, you're not helping people. You're helping to perpetuate the murder of children with remote microwaves. You have no soul, and if you're not burned in this life, you're going to burn in the next. And you didn't buy yourself a seat at the table. I'm sorry, that was a lie told to you. That was an effing lie told to you. Hey, you're going to save yourself, or maybe I couldn't see you having a family. So they tell you you're going to save yourself and you're going to belong to their group. Guess what, folks? Guess what? Everybody on that other side, if you are not on the capstone of the pyramid, if you aren't at the very top, like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and other families that control the money and the technology, like globally, the Federal Reserve, and like play countries like chessboards, if you're not in that, and you're just like a low-level mason, or you're a low-level, security worker, like not a security guard, but like working in the security industry, or you work for NSA or something like that, or you work for DHS Fusion Centers or InfraGard or Community Watch, if you're a little community-placed agent, getting a little check for coming in and trying to discredit and insult people who are being murdered for no reason, citizens who are being murdered for no reasons. If you're on that side, you're up. If you're not at the top of the capstone, you're not buying yourself a seat at the table. It's just, if we don't stop this kind of stuff, you're up next. You know how much important information that I have? I mean, I've had to research all this information about targeted individuals, right? I was implanted when I was like 12. That's my hypothesis. I've still got to check things out on it. I didn't have any important information. I had no important information. Not a whistleblower. There are a lot of whistleblowers and dissidents who are targeted individuals, but I wasn't an activist. I didn't really have any specialized information. And look what they did to me and my family. Look what they're doing to me and my family. Now, Chief Handler, Tom Green, these people microwaving me. Now, I'm not saying they're microwaving me, but I'm saying my electronics corps that's microwaving me. Y'all got a lot of information. You got a lot of classified information that the top doesn't want to get out to the general public. You better think about that. You better think about that. I had no important information, and they're torturing me every day and my family. You think you're buying a seat at the table, but what you are is you're a useful, idiot, retard tool that when they're done with you, they're going to throw you away like an old toy. But they're not just going to throw you away. They're going to melt you in fire. Don't if you're not up there in those big families that run everything, you are not getting out of this alive. If we can't stop it, you're not getting out of this alive. It's not a threat. This is not a threat. I'm going to make y'all have to change your names. I will do that because I'm going to make you look so bad. I don't care how I look right now to non-targeted individuals. They may think I'm being paranoid, but I know that you two are 100% community-placed agents, trained to do this. You probably didn't need to be trained on social media because you're fat losers who probably eat Cheetos all day and insult women who are being electronically raped and fighting for their families and their lives. Couldn't pass a basic science class. You couldn't pass a basic morality class, a humanity test of like just not murdering people during the day. Just not lying about a bunch of people who are being murdered for no reason. You couldn't pass that. Chief Handler, LOL. So future knowledge says aluminum foil does not work for me. A Faraday cage did not work for Dr. Horton. Yeah, in my Faraday bunker, it did help with some of the exterior, like the external hits. It did slow it down because some of it was shucking off, and then some of it was coming through. But it doesn't work 100%. It worked 100% for like the first 3 nights or the first 4 nights. And then my attackers started kind of adapting things and changing things. So this is the one I wanted to read from Charles. Yes, aluminum does work to block radio waves, but it does not block the signal. I don't understand that, but I know Charles is right on that one. The high frequency will bounce right off of it, but the 900 or 800 megahertz will just continue because of the wavelength. The aluminum foil on the bunny ears, like on TVs, just made the signal better for the antenna. So I guess I thought the waves were the signal. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that more, but I'm sure he's right. I'm sure it gets kind of complicated where it's like aluminum will block radio waves, but there's a specific frequency in there that the aluminum will not block and that can be adapted. But I was getting, I mean, they were able to get through the top a little bit better as time went by, but whatever I was experiencing felt like cooking of my head and my shoulders. And I think they were doing most of it, like they would start it when I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, and I was like, they'd keep me in there like sleeping 12 hours. I was wondering why I was sleeping so long, but my attackers were keeping me asleep because they wanted me in there. They wanted me in there because it was like cooking me from the inside out like a baked potato. So I'm going to try and heal up from that a little bit. I feel a lot better, sleeping on the leather chair. I might get some kind of like leather covering for a bed, because leather does seem to work for me in not in deflecting a lot of this. Some people say it doesn't for what they're getting hit with, but for me, leather really does. Doesn't block it 100%, of course, but leather's a good thing to put on or lay on. Let's see if Tom Green or Chief Handler, you are too stupid to live. Chief Handler, like Tom Green, Charles Hall is smarter than all of you community-placed agents who are paid to come online and try and discredit. Look how Chief Handler is going to every targeted individual comment and commenting. Look at how he's doing that, and look at how he's on other targeted individual videos. I know a lot of non-targeted individuals, you might be just like, oh, it's just a troll and he's trying to get to y'all. He just doesn't like targeted individuals. But the way that they do this and the protocols that they're using are stated in gang stalking guidebooks and gang stalking handbooks. What they're doing online, there's jobs for that, and these guys are 100%. I say, let's get them to change their names. Let's show that we can make it so uncomfortable for us to know who they are, and that they will have to actually change to another anonymous name. I'm going after him. Like, I'm not physically, not violently, but I'm gonna make him. And I guess he kind of wants this. He wants the tar baby thing, right? But I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm gonna figure out a way where he doesn't like me making him change his name, coming after him. I'll show. I guess I'm just going to show y'all, because Jean is such a great person. This guy, and she is, she's being tortured and raped electronically, and this MF. Okay, so Charles Hall says, I have found that if you put the aluminum foil in layers with plastic, it seems to work a little bit better, of course. It has to be on the skin. So he's saying it has to be on the skin, but I guess you put a layer of plastic under that. Seeing as we are the antenna, so we are the antenna, so it's going to bounce off the antenna, but that frequency is still going to get through the 900 to 800 megahertz. Like plastic wrap and sandwich in between the aluminum and layers. I might still be using aluminum for a couple of things. Like if it gets really bad, I might use it on the walls behind what we're putting on. Like, it just depends on how that works. But I just wanted to, and I know y'all are probably like, well, we're dealing with our own stuff. But I wanted to tell y'all what was going on with my Faraday bunker in case some targeted individuals did that. If you do have a Faraday bunker and you have wiring under your floor, I'm on the bottom floor. At least put rubber down or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna evolve with that, and I'm gonna figure out some better things where I can clean my house good and feel psychologically better, and maybe have some people over and stuff like that. I'm gonna figure out how we can get downstream or upstream, because I guess we're swimming upstream, right? But how targeted individuals can get upstream, but also to have happiness and love in my life. These people will not get done what they want to get done. Even if I die from what they're doing, they will not win in any way that's important. And we will win in every way that's important, no matter what happens. No matter what happens, we will win in every way that's important. And we will get stronger, and what does not kill us makes us stronger. So what was that? Did I look at the reply? Also, rubber is insulator like black tape. Yeah, and that's very smart too. See, I was thinking about putting rubber down on the bottom of the Faraday bunker, to block that electric field. They're somehow pumping up the electric field that wiring in the floor makes. And I've had tons of experiences with that. They can use a lot of things in your environment with the remote weapons that they have. So Tom Green says, you and all your friends are schizophrenics. I'm not sure what that word means, but I do know that, Tom Green, you are a soulless dog. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult dogs. You are a soulless hunk of turd. You do not deserve to live. Anything you say in comments is not understood by anybody, has made everybody dumber in this room. You are awarded no points. May God have no mercy on your soul. And guys, you make the decision. You make the decision. I'm gonna go, not with violence, but I'm gonna go after these guys and make them look really stupid. It's a mission for me now, and it's kind of fun because I'm sure that these guys are getting paid and they are a compartmentalized part of this program. Now, whether they do this and actually work, directed energy systems and stuff like that, directed energy weapon systems, probably not. Probably they just do the internet stuff, but they do know that this is happening. They might be on one of the contract teams in raping and killing people. They might, but I'm not sure. I just know for 100% this is a community-placed agent. Look how he spelled schizophrenics. There's a spelling correction. So if you try and put schizophrenic in, it corrects the spelling. He did that on purpose because he's trying to appear like he's not somebody who's very good at typing or communicating. It's a psyop. It's a psyop so that people will think, oh, well, no, he is a troll. Look, he misspelled schizophrenics. That's purposeful, and I'm sure of it, like 100% sure. And this is not paranoia. Sometimes I do get it wrong. With gang stalking and one-light cars, some of the one-light cars probably have some one-light cars that are just normal, and the gang stalking gets mixed in, and on those ones that I'm wrong on, it's hypervigilance where I'm incorrect about it. These two, Chief Handler and Tom Green, I would bet my life that these are community-placed agents that are getting paid for this. And you too, Tom Green and Chief Handler, I'm going to make your job not fun. And I'm going to get a lot of targeted individuals, smart targeted individuals. And, maybe this will take our mind off our own targeting. I'm going to come up with a plan to where you will change your name. You will go away and it'll be somebody else that nobody really recognizes who they are, and you'll have to start over. Hopefully you don't have a soul to crush, so I'll just crush your self-esteem. You're not a human being. That American citizens and citizens around the world are being targeted and murdered. You'd have to, if you looked at my videos and James G. Adorno, there's concrete proof. There's concrete proof everywhere, and you'd have to know. You are despicable, lying, spineless cowards. Gang stalkers, these electronics corps, community-placed agents like these guys, they are spineless. And whenever tyranny rose its head, there's a lot of other tyranny in our country and other countries, but this program is beyond tyranny. These people immediately joined up. They said, oh, don't have a spine that's going to stop me. And they immediately joined up in destroying American families, and the people who do it in other countries, destroying innocent families in those countries. You're not soldiers. You're not soldiers anymore. You're not mercenaries. You're just spineless killers. You're spineless killers now. And you may have some kind of title or something like that. You may think that your time served in the military was worth something. But for y'all, and a lot of military men are honorable, and they are fighting the good fight, and they're not taking orders that are wrong. And so I ain't talking about them. I salute them, I love them, and I thank them for my freedom. You people, if you are ex-military, you've been in the military, and I'm really, I don't know about these guys, Tom Green and Chief Handler, but my attackers, I'm pretty sure they're ex-military. They act, and it's a obsessive discipline that they use, and it's like they sound like they have orders and stuff like that. They're not soldiers anymore. We're soldiers. Targeted individuals are soldiers. We're forced to be soldiers. And if you don't want to be a soldier, that's fine. But I consider myself a soldier, drafted into this war by being targeted. It's a weird looking war. Hell yeah, it's a weird looking war, right? But a war nonetheless. And a war that we can win. And we can win it with words, with awareness, with court cases, with changing public perception. We can change it, and there's so many other things that I didn't mention too. So Tom Green, like, really, it probably would be better if you just stopped eating, stopped drinking water, and let your body pass away from this earth so that Satan can get his butthole ready, and then you can jump on a trampoline and go into Satan's butthole. Okay? Okay, buddy, you got me? So Jean-Marie Bizot, I'm not sure. I was calling her Jean. Jean-Marie Bizot. I'm not sure if that's French. I think it's I'm not sure, but you're a psycho-sociopath. You like harming living things. I bet you kill people's pets. So she, I think it's a she. She's telling Tom Green that. And then I said, Tom, you misspelled schizophrenics. If at this point you still think that you're either very dumb or very dirty. And that was my little trying to be a little bit diplomatic, like, and say, oh well, you're dumb if you're doing this as a troll, just a non-paid troll. You're very dumb, but you're very dirty if you know what's happening to us and you're being paid to come on these boards where we're already pushed down in YouTube. Already with certain words that we use and everything. If I always use directed energy weapon systems, and there's a couple of other words, but if I use those words, YouTube will keep me down in the algorithms because they see it as conspiracy theory or whatever. And this is something happening into our communities, to families all over the world. It is not a conspiracy theory, and yet on the social media we're already at an unfair advantage. Thank the Lord, some people speaking out about this, they're getting past the algorithms and they're speaking about it using the correct terms that can get past some of YouTube's censorship and getting out there. I'm going to be trying better on that, but I have a hard time. I just talk and I just use the words neuroweapons. Probably if you use neuroweapons, YouTube's going to push you down. I think they go on the basis of if something can be labeled a conspiracy theory and if something is national security. They don't promote those videos, So like a lot of our videos, and some targeted individuals get past it, by the way they talk about things, by the way they do things, which is very smart and very good. I just got, I got to do what I got to do on my channel. So then Chief Handler said, you are mentally ill, period. Chief Handler, die. I'm not mentally ill. Like, I tried to work 5 years while being targeted through 5 years, and where I had to get on Social Security disability. My mom and dad are targeted. These are weapon systems and neuro weapons that the DoD, the CIA, and the DIA are using. Contractors and subcontractors, universities and hospitals to do this experimentation. And experimentation like this, not as advanced as it is, and not as many targeted individuals as there are today, but types of experiments like this started way back in 1952, and then MK Ultra came along and other experimental programs, and our history has shown that innocent American civilians and innocent civilians in other countries are experimented on and are tortured, and it's still happening, and it's happening in this way. Melissa Dyke said it the other night. I listened to one of their older interviews with John Hall, and she says it in a very good, very simple way. This seems like an extension, a technologically advanced continuation of MK Ultra. Yes, yes, that is an angle. That is an angle, and I think that's a very good way to say it. I just wanted to show y'all. Okay, so Chief Handler says I need a padded cell. And then John Marie Bizot said, "You're going to hang. How does that sound, psychopath?" And then Chief Handler said, he's referring to. I'm pretty sure this is a woman who I see on a lot of chat rooms. She's very nice. She's targeted very hard, and she's trying to do everything she can to help other people, to help other targeted individuals to learn about this. To what can she do? She's like, what can I do? She's always asking what she can do, thinking of things that can help us. And she said, Chief Handler says, it's sad that you're too stupid to have an elementary level proficiency in your native language. You're mentally ill and need help. And then he said, you're an insane old woman. He said that to this woman who's being targeted. And I don't, who knows if she's older or whatever. Who knows? But he says you're an insane old woman to somebody to I'm not sure if she's an American citizen or a French citizen. Or somewhere in Europe, but she's being attacked with neuro weapons and directed energy weapons, and it's hurting her life. And this chump right here said, "You're an insane old woman." I'm gonna leave this here. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Jean. Hopefully she'll come to one of my live streams, or I'll see her on another live stream. If she wants me to take it down, I'll take it down. But I want people to see. That says everything right there about that jerk, about that soulless jerk who calls women who need help because they're being raped and tortured, says you're an insane old woman. And I want every non-targeted individual that doesn't know about this subject, look into this subject and then look at that. And that is not, look into gang stalking protocols, look at Dr. Ronnie Kilda's gang stalking manual that she actually got from the other side, and it has a whole subsection on community placed agents being used on social media posts, in chat rooms, on people's like YouTube videos and stuff. If they have a proficiency for doing things online, they will move the community placed agents to do exactly what these guys are doing. If it was a troll, guys, just use logic. Just use logic. If that was a troll, he would leave one comment on the video. Why would he go to every targeted individual and try and start shit? And I'm not gonna let him start. I'm not gonna let him start shit. I'm gonna do it in a way that they don't want. Like right now, they're getting what they want right now. But I have to because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to say what a piece of crap this guy is. Both of these guys are, because they are pieces of crap with no souls and no conscience. They're connected to this program. They may not be microwaving people, but they are like attached to either InfraGard or DHS Fusion Center or maybe NSA or something like that. But they are in a program where they come in to try and discredit. They've been doing this for years. Non-targeted individuals, if you don't understand this and you think I'm being paranoid, Tom Green has been making comments on my videos since like 5 years ago. Almost immediately when I started making targeted individual videos, that guy was making comments, and he makes them on every video. It's been 6 years of me making these videos. Does that seem like a troll? A troll would get bored. A troll would be like, oh, okay, you're crazy, and then he'd just move on. This is this guy's job. This is his job. And I'm going to make sure that I make your job hard, Chief Handler and Tom Green. Just like I'm going to make, I do make my attackers' jobs hard. I make their job fucking hard. I'm going to make your jobs hard too. Because you guys, if you're murdering American citizens and citizens around the world, and you're torturing them and you know it and you're lying to, we're going to make your jobs as hard as possible until you no longer have those jobs. It's a promise. It's a promise. Not a threat, not physical violence, nothing like that. Something worse for you. Because you'd love it. You'd love it if somebody punched you in the face. You could sue them like a spineless coward that you are. I'm talking about something that'll break what kind of is in your chest and acts like your heart or looks like your heart. Thinking of breaking that. gonna do it. All right. So you know, he's not only an idiot, and he's definitely not a scientist. You know, and he is a misogynist. He's a misogynist. So he's like calling a woman, insane old woman. He's a misogynist. He's everything bad about humanity. And if you guys want, I mean, don't do violence to these guys. Obviously, we don't know who they are. They're anonymous. We couldn't do that anyway. But there's this part in Star Trek where Jean-Luc Picard's getting tortured by the what's called the Cardassian guy, and the Cardassian guy is using this little remote to electrocute him. And Captain Picard, like, the guy's walking into the room, Captain Picard takes the little remote and he starts slamming it on the thing, right? He's slamming it on the thing, and the Cardassian comes up behind him and says, "That's not going to do you any good. I have many more duplicates of that remote." And he goes, "Felt good." So it's going to make me feel good because I know that they're involved in this, to give them a little bit of dirt in their eye. A little bit of dirt in their eye. A little bit of dirt in your eye. All right. In their one eye or whatever, because they're probably. I mean, a good probability is that they probably are Masons or something like that. Because a lot of Masons get involved in this. I've talked about that a lot on older videos, and I think I want to put out some more information about fraternal organizations within society, not just America, but fraternal organizations in other countries, and how they use those fraternal organizations and beliefs to get people to go into like agencies and the CIA and stuff like that, and where those mix, the fraternal organizations' beliefs kind of mix in with agencies and companies in the military-industrial complex, which is super dangerous because the cults of Masonry and Satanism and things like that, and like some Talmudic beliefs and Kabbalistic beliefs, they're insane. They're insane and genocidal beliefs. So when you start putting that in agencies in the system that are supposed to like help countries and stuff, they end up just trying to cook all the people, and treat them like cattle and stuff like that. So I probably will be talking about that some more. A lot of stuff that I want to go through, and these people like this will never stop us. I'm just gonna. Okay, so what I told him, said, "Chief Handler, if you don't burn in this world, which is very slim possibility, you will burn in hell. You are evil to the core, and just for what you said to Gene, I'm going to take you down, jerk. I'm gonna take you down. Make some more comments on my channel. It's not gonna be a tar baby for me. I know that you want it to be a tar baby, and you want to get my attention and whatever. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cool down, because I can cool down while people are torturing and murdering me. I have ways to meditate, to get in the right space, so I can cool down when some jerk, some misogynistic, woman-hating, murderer who knows that people are being tortured laughs at it and thinks they're on the right side, when they're just cold-blooded evil, the worst that humanity has to offer, and they have no spine, spineless jellyfish that jumped at the first chance to kill innocent citizens and torture innocent citizens, or to lie to innocent citizens while they're being tortured, lie about them. Just watch it, buddy. Watch it, buddy. Not a threat, you two, Tom Green and Chief Handler. Get all over my channel. I just don't want, okay, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I forgot about people coming. I don't want people, like real targeted individuals who come and comment for it to make them stressed out. And what I just did is going to make these guys start, really commenting on all my videos. I promise. I got my ways, and it might not be how you guys think. Like, I'm talking to targeted individuals now. I'm not going to be like on every comment they make, bashing them, but I got ways. I got my ways. Isn't that right, Barry? Says, aye, aye, Skipper. Alright, so 131 Kimber says, I tried all kinds of things at first. had some success blocking till attacks became so relentless, nothing was helping much anymore. Now my mindset is ride the storm out. If it's any help to know, the White House spent over $600,000 on sonic generators to protect the presidents. That is, they're probably defending the president from stuff like this. They would have to have defensive things for like high level, like the president and people that they want to protect, from that kind of stuff. Noticed it didn't stop them from making Obama act out of a tantrum on stage and knock over a podium. I know what she's talking about, but I think that was computer generated. But I know what she's talking about. I don't think Obama did that, but they probably have made politicians act out. I think that was a computer generated thing where it put his head. It like really looked like it was him kicking the podium and slamming the door. It may be. I may be wrong. I thought it was a trick. I thought it was a fake video. But still a good point. I'm sure that many politicians that does happen. Nor does it stop them from using that stuff on Trump to make him speak like a fool and act like he's delusional. Neuroweapons seem to be for everyone. And I agree with that last statement. Neuroweapons are being used on everyone. Different kinds of neuroweapons and frequencies that are even coming from our cell phone, the TV, the computer, and things like that for people who are not directly targeted by like actual automated weapon systems and shift workers who work those integrated weapon systems. Everybody's being flooded with these electromagnetic frequencies. And then some people are getting a more direct neuroweapons attack and the torture and the trauma to clear neural pathways so that they can do more things to our white matter tracts up and down the spine, and really try and do their behavioral control or whatever they want to do, which it's not going to work. And tell yourself it's not going to work. They may be doing stuff that's making you feel different, but let's try and get a positive mindset where you say they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, because your mind is super powerful. Now, I've said this over and over to you guys. Your mind is very powerful. It can fight for you or against you, and we've got to all the way use our mind, body, and spirit to fight for good and to fight against this and to save as many lives as we can and do as much as we can no matter what happens. We throw our stones at the giant's head and God directs them. And God directs them. I just have a feeling. A lot of miracles. That rally, looking forward. Man, we got to all pray and send our most positive energy as we can to those guys. So I was saying that grounding and Dave Case's CD are two things that still help a lot, and they didn't really backfire on me or anything like that. And there's a lot of other things too, and a lot of other things that I'm going to be exploring, to get our repertoire. I just can't, off the bat, I don't really want to go through a list right now. And then Neil left a comment. I didn't really understand it. I guess I'll read it because I've seen some of his videos. I'm a little bit worried about him. Well, let me just read his comment. If any of you guys know him, kind of see how he's doing. I think he's being targeted very bad. But Neil said, Neil 511 Pawar said, you serve Lilith. I believe it's Dan Brand regular. It's the WV plates when I see it because you are backwards. Sometimes at least. Feed that one program. Terminate by same attack. Reclaim all energy. I think it's a prayer thing. I hope he's not saying that I serve Lilith, because I don't know who that is. So if I was serving her, I probably wouldn't be doing a good job because I don't know her. But no, I do. I first serve God, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and through that, then I serve my family, my community, you guys. Well, you guys are, it's kind of like my family and you guys, targeted individuals, are kind of, I'm just trying to serve both of those. And then trying to get myself physically well enough so that I can do that. And serving God helps everything under there. When you have faith in God, when you have faith in God, it helps all the layers of people that you're trying to serve and you're trying to help. But I did want to read your comment, Neil, because you leave comments sometimes. I've watched some of your videos and stuff. I hope you're doing okay, bud. This stuff is, so hard. It's so hard, and it really messes with us. But I hope you're doing okay, and just pray to God. Just pray to God. Pray in the name of Jesus Christ. He's going to put something in your path, to help you out too. And you've helped people out with your videos. So, okay, guys. So that's all I want to show y'all about that. Okay, I'm gonna get off of Chief Handler and Tom Green. Oh, it's already been an hour. Shoot. I was really going to try and do, I'm going to really practice. I'm going to practice making some concise videos, but I did need to, like I was going to make it real short today, but then I saw that stuff from Chief Handler and Tom Green. I know, guys, I know what you're going to say, just ignore it. I usually do, but when it's somebody like, I think it's pronounced Jean. She's a very special person, and we've talked a lot in a lot of these chat rooms. I think she's been on my live streams. And with what she's going through, because she's targeted severely, that guy saying that to her, and he probably knows that all of us are going through this, but he still tries to discredit. It just made my blood boil, and I had to. It makes, like the Captain Picard thing, smashing the thing. It didn't really help, but it made me feel better, and sometimes we've got to do that. Sometimes it's really up to you guys. There's no handbook for this targeted individuals. It's kind of a one foot in front of the other. And how do we beat this assertively, intelligently, without going to violence, without doing violence? And maybe, hopefully, if people really wake up and there is an actual war with guns, I don't know what it would do against directed energy weapon systems, and like where they can shoot a directed energy beam down from a satellite and just cook a whole like a whole army coming up. But I think right now, just right now, our weapons are information. Our weapons are information, awareness, activism, court cases. Even if the court case, I think a lot of court cases have been won, but then the targeted individuals get gag orders. They get settlements and gag orders. But I think that's going to change, where some of these court cases will get public attention. So in many other things, we haven't even gotten to halfway into our bag of tricks. We haven't even gone halfway. More to come. People like Tom Green and people like Chief Handler. More to come. More to come. You picked the wrong side, and it seems like right now, doesn't it? Because my attackers who are shooting microwaves and shooting V2K at me, they seem to think that this is just a foregone conclusion, right? And they picked the right side. You're going to find out you picked the wrong side. When the tables turn, people are looking for people like you who did this to citizens around the world, you're going to be on the wrong side. You're going to be on the wrong side. Okay, guys, I'm getting pretty long-winded on this one. This channel is very good, and they get a lot of views, which is great. True Stream Media with Melissa and Aaron Dykes. And I once saw an interview. I'm going to probably do a live stream where I talk about that interview, and then I go through just some of their videos where they say just awesome stuff. They have a lot of very concrete, backed up by evidence information about frequencies and what they do to our body, about like the minds of men. Check out their channel. Subscribe to their channel. If you're a targeted individual, subscribe to their channel. Give them as many views as to get them out there, because they are true journalists. I think because from the interview they said they felt like they had been poisoned. They left InfoWars, and really strange things started. Like people would break into their homes, gang stalking. They felt like they were poisoned some nights. They have never talked about being hit with directed energy weapons or neuro weapons, but from the work that they're doing, and then the gang stalking that they talked about. And I'll do a live stream with some of that interview where they talk about it. I think that's why they do so much on on transhumanism and targeted individuals and things like that. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for these two. Thank you, God, for so many people out there fighting. But True Stream Media, guys, and I'm going to be doing a live stream. Probably, I don't know. There may be something before that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm working on and want to do. Just kind of depends, you know. And also want to focus on the rally, you know, on supporting them from here as much as I can. But so I wanted to play this. This isn't about frequencies. It's about censorship. I wanted to show this how YouTube has guidelines to kind of keep certain channels down. And they may not even be guidelines that we, as the person putting the videos out, would even know about, because there's an inside system in YouTube, internal use only, for certain topics, certain conspiracy theories, whatever's called a conspiracy theory, or doesn't fit the mainstream narrative. Let's let him talk about it, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. I know this was really long-winded because I got into all that stupid stuff about Tom Green and Chief Handler, which is they're probably laughing and like saying, "Oh, that's wonderful that he did that." But what they said to Gene, they're not going to be laughing for long. I promise.
And people have made known how unhappy they are with the status quo and the system that's going on, and they have become vocally outspoken online, and the system hates it, and they're trying to reclaim the territory, they're trying to sanitize it, and they're trying to reclaim the narrative for their corporate partners.
We're going to have to rebuild within this wild, wild west of information flow some sort of curating function that people agree to.
But it's one step farther to come out and claim that these networks have a responsibility to expose people to other points of view, or essentially what is the official accepted point of view. That's a whole new level than just censoring. Aaron brought this up in the last video too, and I want to dive into this just a little bit deeper to show you essentially what Bill Gates is talking about. YouTube, which is owned by Google, which is a parent company called Alphabet. I think about that every time I do one of these videos. They put out this document in February, so just last month, called How Google Fights Disinformation. And they specifically mention that disinformation means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So right away, not everyone is going to even agree on what that means. But they go on to say it's to purposefully disseminate information that you know to be inaccurate with the hope that others believe it's true, or to create discord in society. Well, because what's accurate, according to Google, are sources like Wikipedia and authoritative sources.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm kind of moving around because I've really got to use the bathroom. Like my attackers are making me like emergency need to use the bathroom. I don't want to. I want to go ahead and play what I wanted to play and end it out. But that's why I'm kind of dancing around here.
Media outlets, and this has been pointed out. It's a really good point that there's no way for these companies to make algorithms that are sophisticated enough to be able to tell the difference between quote-unquote blatantly false, misleading information and a conspiracy theory that might turn out to be totally true. There are lots of examples, and this guy makes the point that this would be the same as if you had, back during the Watergate days, prior to that coming out, if all the newspapers got together and said, we're banning all stories on this topic. We're just not even going to allow anyone to talk about it at all. Even though that's totally something that turned out to be true, there's lots of things that turn out to be true. There's no possible way, with how many posts are being made to these social media outlets in just the span of a single minute, you're talking about millions of posts. There's no way for them to do that in a way that they can do that with human beings. That is something that only computer algorithms are handling. And so they're just blanket banning things because there's no way to do this any other way. And there's no way for them to make a sophisticated enough algorithm that can really truly tell the difference. This is just a way to blanket ban things and take them out of public discussion, out of public debate, out of public view, and out of public thought.
Google and YouTube admit that they're not just following their own community guidelines. Sure, they set up rules and they said everyone has to follow the rules and they could ban you if you break the rules, but they admit what they're doing right now, and Facebook and other social media platforms are doing it too, is they're targeting content that admittedly doesn't break community guidelines, but it comes close to it. it's approaching the boundaries, right? In other words, stuff that doesn't break the rules, they're now targeting. And in this document, How Google Fights Disinformation, they admit straightforwardly that after the community guidelines, they have a secondary set of rules that are internal, that are not disclosed to the public, in which they use to basically demote content, censor and remove content, and bury it inside their algorithm. So they claim they're going to keep content on the platform unless it violates their community guidelines. But they say right here, YouTube maintains a more detailed and living set, in other words, constantly changing, set of enforcement guidelines that provide internal guidance on the enforcement of public community guidelines.
And I would guarantee you guys, I would guarantee you that national security falls within that. That if something is true that somebody's saying, but it's dangerous, like national security doesn't, it's something that is being covered up by national security or high clearances like human experimentation with neuroweapons, that, you know, through some kind of channels with YouTube, they're going to have those specific guidelines of channels that they don't want to promote. They're not going to push out there. They're going to bury them in the lowest corner of YouTube. So it's going to be very hard to find those channels. And I think a lot of targeted individuals' channels are like that. Not only from the national security thing, but also being labeled as a conspiracy theory, which I don't even associate that word. It is a conspiracy fact, but how I look at this is just a huge thing that's happening in all of our communities and around the world with advanced technology. It's treasonous, non-consensual human experimentation. I don't define it as like, it is a conspiracy. Like, it is a conspiracy by a lot of moving parts within the system, but when I talk about it, I don't even use those words. You know, I don't even use those words, because it's just something that's happening. And Tom Green and Chief Handler, this is happening. Like, maybe like when I'm talking about my Faraday bunker and exactly what's happening or something, I might be wrong. My hypothesis is that they may be doing something else to me. My attackers are directed energy and neuro weapons at me, and they are affecting me. And many of these people that come to my videos, and many other targeted individuals speaking out, and some targeted individuals that do not even know they're targeted, are experiencing these things. And guess what? You complete animals, you animals, Tom Green and Chief Handler, they are experimenting on kids. These agencies, these contractors are experimenting on the brains of children and on the bodies of children. And then you've got the kids who aren't directly targeted by shift work and automated systems, who have like a tablet on their lap, and they're not ever going to be able to have kids themselves, or it's going to give them some kind of cancer. This is something we need to talk about. That's something serious. It's a danger to humanity all over the world. Not just the direct targeting. That's very, very important to discuss. But just Wi-Fi in general, 5G in general, electromagnetic frequencies, and how we're building these grids, and how all these new cancers are coming out, how people are becoming infertile, how autism is just skyrocketing, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. These are serious topics. You guys, like, you're doing this kind of stuff. This is your job, to work against the public, knowing what's happening to them. You're against the people. You are committing treason. Just plain and simple, you are committing treason. You are terrorists. You're hurting innocent American citizens. That makes you a terrorist. Doesn't make you a soldier. Doesn't make you a soldier. I'm sorry, that got me angry. Like, I was laughing when they were calling me whatever, but they shouldn't. And now I know they're going to try and use that. Trust me, I'm going to get them, guys. Let me know. Anybody who's in contact with me, let me know when you see them and where.
These are extensive and dynamic to ensure that policies apply to changing trends and new patterns of controversial content online. Well, controversy is synonymous with having a point of view, with dissenting against whatever might be dominant at the time. It's just part of any democratic society, any society with free speech and the right to free views at all. but they admit that they have internal guidelines to help them rein in, controversial content, and that these are evolving, and that, quote, YouTube does not typically disclose these updates to the public because doing so would make it easier for unscrupulous users to evade detection. So in other words, everyone else has no idea what could get them banned or demoted tomorrow. No
So
one
they
knows
don't
what.
they don't want people there are guidelines that we can see and kind of watch our words. Dana Ashley does a great job on that. Sometimes she has this great interview with somebody, I can't remember, but she actually bleeps out certain words like special ops and in other words. She tries to get around the censorship. She actually, on that video, she said she really didn't get around the censorship. They still did censor her for certain things, but that's another channel to watch. These people, God bless them. God bless them. There's so many in the alternative news. Some of them may be targeted, but they just don't talk about it because they're getting the message out. They feel like their path is different, where they don't want to say they're a targeted individual, but they still want to get the information out in a general way. Seems to be very effective. This is my path. This is what God, this happened in my life. I wish it didn't, but this is my path to talk a little bit more in depth, to talk about it just with whatever words come to mind, and say I'm a targeted individual. Many different things need to be done to stop this.
Rules to play by, and Google all but admits it in their policy document.
So, in applying their principles to YouTube's news and politics. So this is about Google's principles now. What you get to know and see on YouTube is about what Google's principles are. The first solution included making authoritative sources readily available, which I think is just kind of a total joke on its face, because people don't go to YouTube to watch mainstream media outlets. Mainstream media outlets already have their own channels on television. People want to go see a mainstream media outlet, they're going to go to TV and watch that. They're not coming to YouTube to watch that. YouTube was supposed to be a source for independent voices. That's why it's called YouTube, not TheyTube or mainstream tube. It says assumed within this principle is the demotion of disinformation, which they've now outlined. So they're going to demote information that's not from authoritative sources.
So we're not, and especially with information about targeted individuals and gang stalking, we would be demoted. We would be demoted, and we would be considered disinformation, like Flat Earth or something like that. And I do not compare us to Flat Earth, because what we're saying is true and provable immediately in communities. Flat Earth was made on 4chan. I'm not criticizing people who believe in it, because we've been lied to so much, but it's different than targeted individuals. I like to separate those two. But they're going to lump us in. They're going to lump us in with anything that is like conspiracy theory or seen as disinformation, because our issue is a national security issue. And so with, having the, what's it called? Oh gosh, can't remember. The full spectrum dominance, with information. It's an information war. Anything that's national security, they're not going to give it a level playing field. Some things are getting through those. Like I said, some YouTubers, and especially like True Stream Media, go. They're awesome. Not you guys go to them, but I'm telling them, keep on going. They're real journalists. Lots of real journalists still out there. And I think they do it in a very intelligent way, where they're showing the documentation. They're doing it in a documentary style. They're backing it up. They may not use certain words, but they're getting the ideas out there. And I'm going to be doing like a live stream soon, just going through some of their stuff about them. We really need to be thanking them as a targeted, the targeted individual community needs to give them a big thanks. They are heroes. They are heroes. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. Let's keep it going.
On these specific topics. They've also built 2 cornerstone products, a top news shelf and a breaking news shelf, which will prominently display authoritative political news information. And the breaking news shelf triggers whenever there's a significant news event that's happening, and it will only have content from authoritative sources. So there's not going to be any independent journalists in this breaking news, top news, any of that. When something happens, independent journalists on the ground will be demoted. They're not going to be showing up because they're not going to be considered authoritative sources. They said after breaking news events happen, it takes some time for journalists to create authoritative, fact-based video content and upload it to YouTube, while unscrupulous uploaders can more quickly upload bizarre conspiracy theories, which is, again, going to be anything that's questioning the official narrative of what's going on the ground.
Anything that questions.
And it says historically they delivered the most relevant content that matched whatever the person types in. But now they're going to add the appropriate guardrails. That's the phrase they use, the appropriate guardrails. The first step towards a resolution involves creating systems that determine when a breaking news event is happening and then tilt results tied to that event toward authority and away from relevance, popularity, or recency.
Now, let me give you an example. When the Notre Dame Cathedral burnt down, I went to YouTube and I said Notre Dame burning. Took me 3 pages to get to any kind of independent YouTube channel. I went through all the pages and it was all CBS, CNN, just authoritative news sources. And some of the independent YouTube channels that were talking about going further than the mainstream news and talking about things that might have gone on were more popular. They had more views. More likes. People were more interested in them. But the authoritative news sources took the front 2 page, like 2 or 3 page, first 2 or 3 pages. So it's hard to get to any other news besides the mainstream news on YouTube anymore if you do look up a big topic like that. So and it used to not be like that. Like a year ago or a year and a half ago or something, it was completely different. Whatever was the most popular, that would be up first.
So it's not going to be about the average independent person on YouTube. It's going to be tilting their search results towards authority. They straight up say that.
So all the problems of the echo chamber are now not even remotely democratic. And the tiny, tiny handful of social media companies and the slightly larger handful of corporate news agencies are now going to pat each other on the back and confirm themselves as authoritative and trustworthy news sources, and basically demote and marginalize almost all independent media, all independent voices, and dissenters of all kind on the internet. And because YouTube in particular has been such an important platform for independent and dissenting voices, they're cracking down really hard in all kinds of ways. And they released a new document through Google explaining exactly how they're going to counter misinformation on the web, and they're sharing this with places.
Okay, guys, I gotta use the bathroom. Go and check this video out. Go and check out Beyond Censorship, Destroying Free Thought online, and actually check out TrueStream Media. And it's like they have a ton of subscribers. You know, they have I think they have 470,000 subscribers. That's a lot, right? But with the algorithms and everything like they are, that channel should probably be way up. It should maybe have like 800,000 subscribers if the playing field was equal. So, but a lot of these guys, the information's so good, and people are sharing it on Facebook and Twitter and everything like that. And these guys used to be on InfoWars, so it's like they had a group of people kind of follow them with their podcasts and stuff, and grew up their podcast. So a lot of it's kind of grassroots people knowing about it. But and some targeted individual channels get some pretty good views. I mean, pretty good subscribers, thousands and thousands of subscribers. But without the algorithms pushing us down, those would be like double or triple. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I'm being forced to use the bathroom here. Go ahead and make fun of that, Tom Green. I'm gonna stop that. But I do promise them I'm gonna make their job really hard, and they probably will change their names when I get done with them. Yeah, I guess I should have waited to do the video because I just saw what he said to Gene and then started making the video, and it made me so angry. But it's better to just not get really angry and just deal with it, and just deal with it. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of those two, and they're not agitating me like I'm being tortured, by microwave weapons. I can handle two jerks, two jerks on social media, and whoever else wants to be a jerk or whatever, in a way where it's not gonna give them what they want, and that'll be easy. That'll be easy. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'll probably the next thing I do will be a live stream on my other channel, my secondary channel, Remote Neural Man. Please go give a subscribe and hit the bell if you want to come to my live streams, because I'll be doing some information over there, and hopefully some good conversations and stuff. I got a lot of stuff I want to do. I just gotta practice it being more organized and getting out the information so that it's more helpful for you guys, more helpful for all of us. Yeah. All right, guys, that's the end of this one. I love you guys. I hope that y'all are finding defenses and ways to, stay positive and stay strong. The rally is it Thursday today? It's Thursday today. So people are showing up today. Then the rally is Friday and Saturday. So let's maybe everybody pray tonight, wherever you are. Pray for the success of the rally. And then Friday, pray for them. Just let's send all the positive energy we can. I got a great feeling about that rally. Let's support them however we can if you're not going. And if you are going, God bless you and God keep you safe and have a great time. I'm sure you're going to have a great time out there. Meeting all targeted individuals that you only talk to on conference calls or online. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there, but I will see you guys on the next one.